We're continuing to follow breaking news out of Vandalia tonight. Crews at the Dayton International Airport, they tell us that a plane has been cleared after sliding off the runway. Now, this was reported around 7:30 tonight. An airport spokesperson shared the plane's flight number. The airport's flight tracker shows it was a plane flying in from Dulles International Airport near the nation's capital. 45 people were on that flight, no injuries reported. Airport officials telling us the airport remains open and operational. As we learn any new information, we'll update you on air and online at Dayton247now.com.
The death toll from Hurricane Ian continues to climb tonight. More than 100 people are now confirmed dead, making Ian one of the deadliest hurricanes to hit the state of Florida in decades. Among the victims, Nichelle Harris Miles, a 40-year-old mother from Dayton. And tonight we're learning more about Harris Miles. Clara Faith is live with us tonight. And Clara, why did she and her family go to Florida as the hurricane approached?
Adam, Megan, Nichelle Harris Miles went to Fort Myers to celebrate her 40th birthday with a girls' trip. Her and the other women were staying at a vacation home when the storm hit the area. I spoke with Chanel Maston, Harris Miles' cousin, who also was present. Maston says it's unbelievable that she's really gone.
Just being a day, it's just like this is so unreal. Like, this is just so unreal. Nene ain't calling me. I'm used to her calling me.
And Clara, we understand the family is still trying to bring her home tonight.
Yes, in an interview with CNN, Harris' mom said that her daughter's body had to be left behind when the group evacuated. The family is working to have her body brought back in Dayton. And if you'd like to learn more about how the family is remembering Nichelle, you can go to Dayton247now.com. Now back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Clara. President Biden got a first-hand look at the devastation in southwest Florida today. He was there to survey the damage by helicopter and also out on foot. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis joined President Biden on Fisherman's Wharf, where homes and businesses have been leveled.
Jill and I have had you all in our prayers, and I mean that sincerely. And we're here today because we wanted to tell you in person that we're thinking of you, and we're not leaving. We're not leaving until this gets done. I promise you that.
FEMA says the cost of rebuilding hasn't been fully calculated just yet. However, it's expected to run into the billions of dollars, making it one of the most costly disasters ever. Now, DeSantis is also providing a key update on cleanup efforts. He says the only road to Pine Island is open once again tonight. That bridge connects Pine Island and Matlacha to mainland Florida. The island suffered heavy damage and people there were left largely isolated after that storm passed. DeSantis says the temporary repairs will allow utilities and emergency services to access the area.
I think we have a chance to bounce back a lot quicker than people think. I think there's a great spirit on the island, and I think folks, they just wanted to be able to stay there and be able to go about their lives like they will. You obviously can't do that effectively without this bridge.
Now, DeSantis notes that the repairs are just temporary. He says permanent repairs can begin once immediate needs are met for people living in the surrounding area.
Police are still investigating after a man was killed in a motorcycle crash over the weekend. It happened here along Wolf Creek Pike and Olive Road on Saturday. Police say all the cars involved in the crash left the scene but were later found by Trotwood detectives. Now, Trotwood police also investigating a suspicious death. Last Thursday, Trotwood police found 61-year-old John Mullins dead inside of a Midway Avenue home. Police say it's not clear yet how long he had been dead before he was found. If you have any information on this investigation, you're asked to contact Miami Valley Crime Stoppers 937-222-STOP. You can remain anonymous.
In the new year, ShotSpotter will be no more. The city of Dayton has announced it will not be renewing its crime-fighting tool ShotSpotter next year. Again, it's a gunshot detection tool, and the city has been using it now for the last few years. Mamie Ba explains what's behind that decision.
Now, the system is costing the city almost $615,000 for a 3-year contract. Now, we do know that it went live in 2019 despite opposition from some residents. It's led to arrests in 74 incidents, 55% reduction in crime compared to 37. The police department also mentioned Ohio's concealed to carry firearm law, which allows anyone to have a gun without a permit, saying it's having an unknown impact on their ability to address firearm-related incidents. Commissioner Darrell Fairchild tells me times have changed.
We really need to dig in and see what we need to do to keep both our officers safe and our citizens safe in this new environment that's less safe.
I'm told removing ShotSpotter technology is not going to impact the Dayton Police Department staffing positively or negatively. Back to you.
All right, Mamie, thanks. Well, to weather now, and it looks like we're going to have at least one more day in the 70s tomorrow, huh?
Yeah, and then it really cools off as we head into the longer term. For right now, though, we are in the 50s. It's a cool evening, but not quite as cool as we have been. We're sitting at 57 in Dayton. 43 is our cool spot in Urbana, 48 in Bell Fountain right now. So feeling the chill in some spots, but it's really just not going to be as bad tonight. Compared to this time yesterday, you can already see that we're 3 degrees warmer in Springfield, 4 degrees warmer in Wapakoneta, 4 degrees warmer in Greenville. And then tonight we'll see lows dropping into the upper 40s, which again, not quite as chilly as we have been. We'll see a partly cloudy sky. But coming up, I am going to talk about the rest of the week's forecast because we do have a cool blast of air that's going to make its way in. We're talking about the frost potential and just some very fall-like weather. I'm going to let you know how cool we'll get coming up in just a bit.
Natalie, thanks. The Gem City Market is no longer accepting WIC. WIC is an Ohio Department of Health administered program that helps women, infant, and children who are at health risk due to inadequate nutrition. Bryn Caswell spoke with concerned residents today. She is live now. And Bryn, why are they upset?
Megan, they're upset because the Gem City Market was built on the sole purpose of serving a wide demographic of the people here in West Dayton because there was not a grocery store. Now, customers learned about WIC not being available through a text message that was sent out that said, quote, please shop for your WIC foods at one of many other stores. Now, the catch to that is that there are no other grocery stores. There's one 3 miles up Salem Avenue on Siebenthaler Avenue.
In order to cut out an entire demographic, especially of infants and children, doesn't make holistic sense to what they were asked to do for the community.
Now, Bryn, I know you took these concerns to the Gem City Market. What did they have to tell you?
Megan, Gem City Market tells me implementing WIC was impacting their budget and wasn't being executed properly. They told me right now for customers to think of it being placed on pause, and they tell me they are working with WIC to bring it back, but when it will be back is unknown at this time. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Bryn. New numbers out tonight on what it'll cost to pay for the president's student loan forgiveness program. Adam is at the Now desk, so how much are we talking here?
The Education Department estimates that plan's going to cost roughly $30 billion a year for the next decade. Now, so over the next 10 years, the total is going to come out to $305 billion. The program cancels $10,000 per borrower, or up to $20,000 for Pell Grant recipients. People making less than $125,000 or married couples making less than $250,000 are eligible. The University of Cincinnati is taking pedestrian safety seriously tonight. This is after a hit and run killed 18-year-old Caden Turner, a freshman at the school, and a Chaminade Julienne grad. Administrators are adding new measures to ensure everyone can get safely from class to class. Cassie Arsenault is at the crash site tonight with the latest on administrators' efforts.
The UC campus has stepped up pedestrian safety protocols after one of their students was hit and killed, another student injured. Now, in the most heavily trafficked intersections at peak rush hours, they're putting police cars with their lights flashing and have increased signage to remind people to slow down. Now, this is just a short-term solution after, like I mentioned, one UC student was killed and another was injured when a 17-year-old driver rammed a stolen car into the students. Now, there is no strict end date to when they'll stop this, but they have increased their manpower, which means more overtime as well as more money. So like I mentioned, this is a short-term solution to a long-term problem. At UC, I'm Cassie Arsenault. We'll send it back to you.
Explosive opening statements and a tour of a crime scene in the capital murder trial of Gurpreet Singh. He's the Westchester man accused of murdering his wife and 3 members of her family in 2019. Now, the jury was finalized last night, and today they spent about 45 minutes walking in and around that crime scene where the murders happened. They came back to the courthouse to hear opening statements from both sides, the defense talking about an alternative suspect.
The person was wearing a black hooded sweatshirt, and was running with one arm, cradling the front pocket of the hooded sweatshirt. That's what he described to the police.
This defendant, Gurpreet Singh, made a choice. He made a decision that has brought all of us here to this courtroom. He executed a plan to kill his entire family.
The prosecution went on to say Singh was having an affair and that he had a strained relationship with his father-in-law. They say GPS and cell phone evidence will put him in the apartment where his wife and in-laws were shot and killed. The defense says Singh's father-in-law was doing a real estate deal with the Indian mafia, and it went south. They claim police ignored eyewitness testimony that offers alternative suspects.
We're now hearing parts of the so-called secret audio recording investigators say captured the Oath Keepers group as they planned to breach the Capitol January 6th. Listen to this clip of Oath Keepers leader Stuart Rhodes.
We're not getting down to a fight. It's going to be a fight. But let's do it smart, and let's do it while President Trump is still commander-in-chief.
Now, this is the first major piece of evidence the prosecutors have used to establish a plan by 5 members of the group, one of them being Jessica Watkins from Champaign County. All 5 have pleaded not guilty to seditious conspiracy. If found guilty, they could spend up to 20 years in prison.
A man accused of kidnapping a family of 4 in California. An update on the desperate search to find that family.
And former Mount Carmel Dr. William Husel asking a judge to seal his deposition in his pending civil case. Why attorneys for the families involved are fighting for it to remain unsealed.
Plus, I'm tracking another cold front to make its way through. How cold we'll get, that's coming up. Here's a live look from our Kettering Hill Skycam. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Detectives are at a California hospital waiting for their prime suspect to wake up and tell them where he's hiding a family of 4. 48-year-old kidnapping suspect Jesus Salgado is being sedated while doctors attend to the critical injuries he caused while trying to kill himself. Surveillance video shows who police believe to be Salgado escorting the family in pairs at gunpoint, taking them to another location. He's then seen at an ATM withdrawing money from one of the victim's accounts. Now, police believe he may not have acted alone.
seeing everything that's gone on, I fully believe that there was at least one other person involved, but we don't have any evidence to support that. It's just the circumstances surrounding this. I believe that there is.
Now, no motive or other evidence has been found in the 48 hours since the family went missing. Now, detectives can only wait at the hospital to see if he's ready to lead them to the missing family.
Attorneys for former Mount Carmel Dr. William Husel are now asking for a judge to seal his deposition in his pending civil case. However, attorneys for the families involved are fighting for it to remain unsealed. Back in April, a jury found the former intensive care doctor not guilty on all 14 counts of murder in connection with the deaths of his patients. Husel's team says there's no legitimate reason to release his sworn testimony outside of this civil case. Family attorneys argue that Husel's testimony should not be hidden from the public, saying nothing he said falls under confidential information. The civil case is now underway.
Well, lots of sunshine across the area today. You probably noticed some of those high cirrus clouds increasing by the afternoon, and that's because our next weather maker is making its way in from the west, and it will continue to build some clouds into the area as we do head into the afternoon and evening hours. You can see now pushing their way into Indiana. Much of Illinois seeing some scattered shower activity. We can't rule out a shower with this storm system, but overall plan on dry conditions. Cloud cover increases tomorrow. Spotty shower or two. Our front makes its way through. That's our first front. Not going to cool us off too much. It's not until Friday, Thursday night into Friday, we get our second cold front to make its way in. This is what's going to be dropping our temperatures. Chilly conditions taking over. We're tracking highs in the 50s. Lows in the 30s as we head into our Saturday as well as Sunday morning. I'm going to talk about those chilly mornings and a look at that 7-day coming up here in just a bit.
All right, thanks so much, Natalie. Centerville schools are showing what it means to run, hide, and fight during active shooter situations. Now, the district partnering with Centerville Safe, Centerville Police, and also the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office for a presentation tonight. Dominique O'Neill was there for that presentation. He is obviously here with me tonight. So, Dominique, what prompted the district to want to do this?
I'm told that school safety is a top priority for staff at Centerville schools. Just like last week, there was a hoax at some schools across the state. So that's why staff at Centerville schools and the Centerville Police Department say hosting presentations like this can help. And Officer John Davis with the Centerville Police Department gave the run and hide and fight presentation. He emphasized the importance of being aware of your surroundings.
Law enforcement's well trained and well equipped to respond, but what the public does prior to our arrival has a huge impact on the outcome. So we want to make sure we give everyone the information they need in order to survive and mitigate any kind of damage that might be caused.
All right, so Dominique, last week, as you mentioned, several area school districts had those false call reports. What did law enforcement tell you about that?
The Centerville Police Department tells me the response time is critical and can have a major impact on the outcome of a potentially dangerous situation. And here in Centerville, there are a number of security procedures in place. And for more information on this story, go to Dayton247now.com.
All right, thanks so much, Dominique. Now, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is more important than ever right now. More than 2 million women missed their regular screenings during the pandemic. Those mammograms help discover masses early on and have a better chance to stop the spread. The American Cancer Society says it is never too late to schedule that appointment.
We are worried about a stage shift or more higher stage cancers if we miss mammograms. But importantly, we believe that most breast cancers take a couple years or so to grow. So for those of your viewers who missed a mammogram over the last 2 years, I would say it's not too late. Let's get back up to date and catch that early so it's more treatable.
1 in every 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer at some point in her life. And Dayton 24/7 Now is teaming up with Kettering Health all month long to raise awareness and money to support patients right here in the Dayton area, from mammograms and other screening services to wig fittings and prosthesis. The Kettering Cancer Center makes sure no one has to walk the cancer journey alone.
When anybody's diagnosed with any type of an illness, or in this case breast cancer, the first thing is, hey, where can I go? What's my resource? And to know that that's right in our backyard here in the Dayton community, I think is a big comfort.
Now, if you want to join us in supporting cancer patients and the Kettering Health Foundation, it is not too late to give. All you have to do is text the word PINK to 345-345. You can also scan the QR code right there on your screen.
All right, it's a live look from our Kettering Health Skycam. It is a beautiful evening. We can verify it because we're out on our exclusive Watson's Weather patio tonight. So it's a warm day today, warmer than average. Sounds like tomorrow might be more the same, huh?
Yeah, more 70s tomorrow. Another kind of chilly start, but later this week, we have that big cool down that I've been talking about.
Big drops.
All week long. Yeah, big drops on the way. Going to be seeing temperatures falling into the 50s for highs. So that's going to be pretty chilly compared to the 70s. In fact, got close to 80 degrees today. 75 for tomorrow. So just a little cooler than what we had for today. A little bit more cloud cover than what we had today, too. But then 50s, you can see upper 50s as we head into our Friday as well as our Saturday time frame. Back up into the 60s on Sunday and Monday. We do start to see temperatures climb just a little bit for us. So it will start to feel just a little bit more comfortable as we head into next week. But Friday and Saturday, in fact, over the weekend, we'll have those pretty chilly low temperatures. We'll talk about that coming up.
Natalie, thanks. Senator Sherrod Brown in the Miami Valley today visiting Ohio manufacturers. Why he says making these big investments in Ohio will benefit the entire country. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
We're following breaking news out of California. This is a story we told you about just a few minutes ago. We just got this update. In the last few minutes, the Merced County Sheriff's Office held a news conference announcing that all 4 members of the family we told you that were kidnapped are dead. The suspect, Jesus Salgado, is still being sedated while doctors attend to the critical injuries he caused himself while trying to kill himself. Surveillance video shows who police believe to be Salgado escorting that family in pairs at gunpoint, taking him to another location. But again, we have just learned from the Sheriff's Office in California that that family of 4 was found dead. We'll keep updating you on this story as any new developments come up.
Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown in Springfield just today. He visited Silfex. That's a company that makes the parts used in equipment for semiconductor manufacturers like Intel in Licking County. Senator Brown says a recently passed $10 billion CHIPS Act will support Ohio manufacturers and position the state to lead the semiconductor industry. The act also played a crucial role in the $20 billion development of Intel, the largest investment in Ohio's history.
But we also know that this is a big part of the future. It's not the only part of our future, but we need to sort of move on all cylinders in manufacturing, because Ohio is really the #1 manufacturing state in the country, and it hasn't been in the last few years, and it's going to be again.
Brown says the investment is in technology, which makes it an investment for the entire country.
Well, we have a preview of this week's Thursday Night Lights matchup with Beaver Creek facing Miamisburg. Why both these teams, they got a lot to play for tomorrow night.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Good evening, I'm Matt Digby with a look at sports. It is week number 8 of the high school football season, and for our Thursday Night Lights contest, we are going to the G-Walk as Miamisburg is hosting Beaver Creek in a huge matchup with Region 2 playoff implications. We'll preview both teams tonight, starting with the Beaver Creek Beavers. They are 2-5, having won back in week 2 against Franklin and the following week against Ponitz. Now, the Beavers also hanging in the first half last Friday with Centerville before the Elks pulled away. Beaver Creek players say that because there is a lot to play for in week 8, that's given them extra motivation. Also helping with that is the culture change brought by first-year head coach Marcus Colvin, and that's given the Beavers a positive mindset entering Thursday night.
I think we really just have to lock in and believe we can do it, because I think if we truly believe we can win, we will ultimately end up the victor. And we just got to stay out of our own heads and do whatever it takes to show them we can win. We are willing to do whatever it takes and put any amount of effort in to show everyone that we are here to play and to win.
During those 2 games, we definitely trusted each other a lot more. We knew we had each other's back, and it really showed on the field. The culture's like completely different. From last year to this year, it's like light and day. Being able to prepare extra more, we've been watching more film, we've been taking more mental reps during practice, so I like our chances for tomorrow.
As for Miamisburg, they enter week 8 at 3-4, also just outside the top 16 in Region 2. Like Beaver Creek, the Vikings started 2-1, but opened G-Walk play with only 1 win in the first 4 games. That win was their most recent home game at Holland Field when they beat Northmont. Now, the Vikings are also hoping to put behind them a tough loss in Week 7 at Fairmont. Miamisburg players recognizing that they have a lot to play for in the remaining 3 weeks, and that starts with a good performance at home Thursday night against the Beavers.
Yeah, it's pretty high. I mean, we got to come out and we got to win at least 2 of these next 3 games, but we're pretty much just focused on winning this game, and then we'll move on from there. After the emotional games on Saturday, we just forget about everything that went on Friday. We move on, and we get prepared for the next team we're getting ready to play.
We just got to finish strong and try to beat out the last 3 teams we got and try to get into the playoffs and just finish strong as much as we can. At the end of the day, lock in and get ready for tomorrow's game and still realize that we are playing on TV, so it is fun, you know. At the end of the day, it's what it's about, but still got to lock in.
Now moving to college football, Ohio State is 5-0 after Saturday's win over Rutgers. This week, the Buckeyes are headed to East Lansing as they visit Michigan State. That will be a 4 o'clock kickoff right here on ABC 22. OSU has not lost to Michigan State since 2015, and the last time the Spartans beat the Buckeyes in East Lansing back in 1999 when a guy named Nick Saban was the Michigan State head coach. I wonder what he's been up to since then. Last year, the Buckeyes only had 1 loss out of 5 true road games, but that loss was in Ann Arbor. Right now, OSU outscoring opponents by an average score of 49-15. More college games to keep an eye on this weekend. Homecoming for Central State as the Marauders host Fort Valley State at 1 o'clock. Same time, Dayton is on the road at Butler, while Wittenberg also